Hello everyone and welcome back to Little Drops of Wonderful, my channel to talk about all things crochet and knitting and all the crafty lovely stuff. And this is my monthly podcast where I catch you up on everything that I've been making and what I've been up to craftily. My name's Ali and it's August. I'm filming this on Sunday the 4th of August, so yeah, August means all bets are off, basically. There's always at least one teenager here that doesn't live here. And biscuit consumption has gone up massively because my two girls, who are both on their summer break, keep baking, which is no bad thing. Fazanti consumption has gone up as well. And it's absolutely boiling, so that has kind of had a bit of an impact on my productivity, both craftily making and everything else as well. I've finished work for a couple of weeks, so I've got a bit of time off as well. And the last time you saw me was I did a week of making vlogs, so thank you very much for your comments and your enthusiasm for those. Really enjoy making those, I find them really motivating. So that was about 3 weeks ago now. So I think it's time that we had a little catch up and see what I've been up to. Take a slurp of my tea. Oh, lovely. I have actually just had a biscuit. What's the time? It's 5 to 9 in the morning. Okay, so I'm not terribly organised, so let's just see where we end up. But I can tell you that I have finished my Wonderland socks. Actually, I'm going to need my little making notebook. Let me just grab that and the socks at the same time. Oh, okay. This is my little notebook where I keep all of my notes for my projects. So let's just turn to the Wonderland socks. Right. So here they are. You saw me talking about these last time and I was thoroughly enjoying making them, which is perhaps why I've made them much quicker than I would usually. This is self-striping yarn in the Wonderland colourway from the Irish indie dyer Spin and Blether, who is Andrea. It was a gift. The yarn was a birthday present from my friend lovely Kay, and I absolutely loved knitting this yarn. I loved the stripes, I loved the colours. I felt that the colours were really Wonderland-esque. They really spoke to me in that way. And what I did was, so I knit all of my socks on 56 stitches on 2.25mm needles, although I think I'm going to try my next pair on 2mm needles because I do like nice tight socks, and these I've noticed recently that a lot of my socks are a little bit looser than I would like them, and I've got one pair that I really like that I knit some time ago on 2mm needles, and I do really like the fit of those. Oh, Dan's just coming home. He's just been dropping our eldest daughter at work, so he's going to come in a minute and film me.
Oh, that needs a cold twist.
Well, you can in about 45 minutes. Do you want to say hello?
I'm not dressed, baby.
We're only going to see you from the waist up.
No, I am wearing a jacket. Hello. Bye.
What are you going to go and do?
Start packing.
Start packing. Okay, so where was I? Yes, so that's future plans for socks, but for these ones I knit them on 2.25mm needles. I love them. I just did a German twisted cast on and a 1x1 rib for, I don't know, I haven't written it down, so this is actually a bit useless because I haven't filled it in. I think it was 16 rounds, and then when I got to doing the heel, I just did a garter edge slip stitch heel, so the first 3 stitches along the heel on garter. But what I did was I knit the width of the yellow stripe, then I switched to doing the heel flap, and when I joined back in the round for the blue, I broke the yarn and then wound on my cake of yarn, I hope this makes sense, and then rejoined the blue so that I could then work the full width of the stripe I think it's one round shorter, and then I broke it again and added in the next stripe in the sequence, which is this peachy orange colour, and then continued. So it meant that I had some bits of cut yarn left over, and I'll show you in a minute what I'm doing with those. But oh, aren't these spectacular? I love how they came out. I love how the heels came out. I love, 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 love them. No contrast or anything. I just stuck to the stripes and just, yeah, thoroughly enjoyed them. So that's my first finished object, and I'll talk a bit more about further socks with using Spin and Blether yarn and other projects also in a moment. Have I got any other finished things? I don't. I've got some nearly finished things and some new things, unless you count my Weekender blanket latest mini. No, that's a work in progress. So I've got lots of things that I've progressed to share with you. But before I do that, I just want to mention the sponsor for today's video. Can you guess? Is it in shot? My lovely Serious Light. You will have seen me talk about Serious Lights quite often recently, because I've been working with them over the summer. And somebody asked actually after the last time I mentioned it if I could show it a bit more close up. So I'm going to put a little overlay in as I'm talking so you can get a really good look at how it looks. And I've got some footage of it sort of in action. So the Serious Lights range consists of the high definition light, which is what I have, the Alex light and the classic light. They come in various colours, and you can kind of build your own choices really. I went for black, but you can get other colours. And I also went for the lightweight base because I knew I would want to move it around the living room depending on where I'm sitting, and the lightweight base makes that really, really easy to do. I even move it through to the kitchen sometimes. It's been known to come upstairs as well if I'm reading in bed. And all of the lights in the Serious Lights range use daylight wavelength technology, which replicates the daylight spectrum as closely as technically possible. And I find for me this means that I can use it for long periods of time without any kind of eye strain. In fact, Dan took a bit of footage of me. I may have to crop it a bit and edit some bits out because it's such a mess in the living room, especially last night, and it's not my best angle. I'm in my scrubby old pyjamas, but I was so happy under my light. Everyone was watching, we were watching McDonald and Dodds, and we were all on the sofa, and I was doing some drawing, and I had my light on, and Dan took a little video of me because he said I looked so happy. So I'll try and put that in. I will have to block out Phoebe because when she saw he was filming, she did say I don't want to be in it. So, and that's fair enough. Not many people want to be on YouTube in their pyjamas. So I just want to show you it in action, how I pull it over to the sofa and use it, and how it just is perfect for when I'm sitting next to people watching television. You all know how much I love my Serious Light. I'm just going to move it over there a bit. And you can get your own if you want. I know many of you have already because you've left me note saying how much you enjoy yours, but I have got a code for you. I'm just going to double check I get this right. So it's £100 off, and that's worldwide, although the free delivery is only in the UK. So it's £100 off worldwide for any of the lights in the Serious Lights range. I will put the details in the description and in a pinned comment, and I've got a special link to click as well. And I also just want to mention one last time, they're running a competition where you can win. What can you win? The first prize is an HD Serious Light, but there's also lights available in second and third prizes as well. The competition runs until the end of August, so you've still got plenty of time to go and enter it. So I'll pop the link for that underneath as well. All you have to do is go and fill in your details on a form, and you could be in with a chance of winning. So thank you so much, Serious readers, for sponsoring this video and for making sure I can keep working on all my beloved projects. Cheers. Right, where to start with the things that I'm working on? So let's start with Lilia's blanket, because that's been the biggest progress so far. Oh dear. Just gonna grab everything. Right, okay, let's go through things one at a time. First of all, it's living in my bag that I got when I did a swap with lovely Marta some years ago now, but this is the biggest bag I own and I love it. It's perfect for a blanket project, so that's where it's living. Are there any pins on there to show you? No. And then on here I have got, this is where I'm keeping little bits and bobs and my hook and stuff so that it doesn't get lost in the vast bag. And this is my little pouch from Pickle Lily, Joe at Pickle Lily. I've got a few of these now. They are perfect for socks, usually is what I use them for, because you can get a sock project in here and they fit in your handbag really, really well. And it's got a lovely spotty lining. And I have got a pin on here, and this was from Constance. Isn't that gorgeous? And this was by, I've got the thing in here. This is the name of the people. Now, I don't remember fully, but I'm pretty sure that they've got a YouTube channel, which I watched a bit and then really liked them, but I haven't gone back to watch again for some reason, probably just time. So that's who it's by. If I can find the link to their channel, I'll pop it underneath, because I think one of them's an illustrator. So I've got a lovely little Highland coat in a knitted sweater with a cup of tea. I mean, all the best things in life. So yeah, that's my pouch. And then I am using Stylecraft Special DK for Lilia's blanket in colours that she has chosen. Right, let's just pull up a big loop, because I've got to go and check the instructions for the next bit that I'm doing. So I don't know whether I should cut the yarn yet or not. So let's just do that, get a bit organised. Ooh. So I'm knitting this, yeah, Stylecraft Special DK, and I'm not knitting it, I'm crocheting it with a 3.75mm hook. And the pattern is the Sun Gold Blanket by Attic24, which is a free pattern on her blog. It's going to be utterly impossible to show you. I did show this a bit more fully in my making vlogs that I filmed that I mentioned earlier, because I laid it out on the floor and then I was sort of demonstrating how it was size-wise compared to my height. So yeah, if you go and check that out, it's the one with the thumbnail where I'm lying on the floor looking like I've given up entirely. So I'm on the border basically, which is very exciting. I wasn't sure throughout the project if I was going to do the border, and I went and had a look at Lucy at Attic24's post about it, and I really liked the border, so I'm definitely doing it. So I've done the first bit, which is always a tricky bit where you have to do counting and make sure it's all equal, but I think I've got it just about right. Fortunately, crochet is quite forgiving. If you miss the odd stitch, you can always make it up later. So I've done the first row, and I'm just going to do it by eye, the colours, for how I want. I think there's about 4 or 5 colours in the border. So I've started with this one, which is gingerbread. And then I think for the next row, I'm going to do the walnut colour, which is this, the dark brown here. And then I'll go from there. So, and these colours, by the way, were chosen by my daughter. She wanted these specific colours, which at first I was like, okay, but now I see them all together, I just adore them. She wanted something totally sort of rustic and autumnal looking, and I think she's really picked the right colours. So we've got the bright orange is copper, the dark brown is walnut, the purple is grape, the green is khaki, and the sort of golden brown is gingerbread. I need to put it down because I don't want this on me. It's going to be a lot cooler today than it has been, but it's still about 25 or 26 degrees. But there's no sun, so I haven't got any sun beating through the windows or anything, which is quite nice. I've got a knot now. I think we'll just deal with that after the podcast. So that's my first thing. But oh, I should say the gummy bear. I always tell you where the gummy bear was. So last time I spoke to you on the podcast, the gummy bear that marks my progress, where are you, gummy bear, was all the way, can you see it? There it is, all the way down there. So I've done everything above the gummy bear and the first round of the border. Talk about progress. And this is for Lilia to take away with her to university. So it's now the beginning of August, she'll be going at the end of September. So I think I am definitely on track to finish that, even if the hot weather has kind of put a bit of a break on things for now. But I think I'll be fine. I feel confident. So the next thing to share that I've been working on, probably the next two things that I've made the most progress on, is the weekender blanket and my new cast on, which I just have to go and get over there. So let's start with my new cast on, seeing as it's in my hand. So this is in my lovely bag from Linda up in beautiful Scotland. Just love it. And it's a cardigan. I cast on the April cardigan by Petite Knit. It's a DK weight pattern, and it took me a little while to work out what I was doing, and I did swatches and everything. And I am making size, I've got so many notes on here where I've been working stuff out. I am making, what am I making? I'm making medium, the medium size. It's designed to have a few inches of positive ease. 2 to 3, 2 1/4 to 3 1/4 inches of positive ease. So yeah, and I'm knitting the medium, and I'm fairly confident that my gauge is pretty spot on. I did 2 swatches, which I washed and blocked as well. Very proud of myself. And here's where I am. Now, I was well away with this. I got really carried away with it. And then when it got hot, I kind of stopped and put it away, which is something that always happens with me in garments. I get really into it and then I put it down, and then I find when I come back to it, I have to really get my head back in the game. Head in the game. Get your head in the game. Don't want to just stop singing High School Musical. Yeah, so I get really cross with myself when I do stuff like that. But this is my own hand-dyed yarn, not this specific skein, but this is the colour I designed when I went and did a yarn dyeing weekend with Lay Family Yarn. It's Wonderland Walk. We're having a Wonderland Walkalong at the moment, a little mini make-along, which runs until the end of August, so you've still got time to join in if you've got your skein. My sister's making a cowl, which is lovely actually. I should probably mention that. I'll put a picture of it up actually. This is not, obviously this bright orange, it's not the one my sister's making, but she sent it to me because I was asking what she was making. And it's by, oh I can't, it was quite a cool name, the name of the designer of the pattern, but I can't remember any of it now, so I'll just put it all on the screen. That's what my sister's making. I don't think she'll be entering it into the make-along, but that's what she's making with her skein of fingering weight, Wonderland Walk, and this is what I'm making with my DK weight. Now, because I got so carried away with this, I completely forgot about alternating skeins. So, and then I was like, oh, I don't know what to do, so I've just decided to keep going, because at the end of the day it's knitting, isn't it? It's not like it's not, you know, anything that's gonna bring world peace or solve disease or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is keep going as long as possible, and then when I've got about, I don't know, 20 grams left, I'm just going to alternate then and just kind of fade in the next skein. Although to be honest, looking at the skeins that I have up there on my fireplace, because where else would you keep your caked up skeins of yarn, they all look fantastic, so I don't feel too worried about, I don't feel worried. I'm living life on the edge when it comes to my cardigan, which is probably the most middle-aged thing I've ever said in my life. Yeah, so I don't know what else to say about that. Have I written anything useful in my notebook? No, I've started Thursday the 11th of July and stuck some things in, so that's absolutely no good whatsoever. I'm going to have to make some notes on there. Oh, I should probably tell you that the needles I am using are size 3mm. And they're wooden, which I don't often do. They were a gift ages ago. They're actually Luca needles made from driftwood. And the only reason I'm using them is because they were the only ones I had in that size that weren't already in use. But actually, I'm really, really enjoying them. Really lovely to knit with. And I'm loving that pattern. And I really need to get back to it. But the weather needs to be a bit more on my side. So that is the April cardigan. The next thing I've made the most progress on is my weekender blanket. Oh, I love this bag so much. This is my bag by This Lizzie Sews. It went a bit bonkers because so many of you obviously loved it as well, and who can blame you? Oh, did you hear my stomach then? I'm not hungry or anything, it's just, that reminds me, sorry, this is going to be a tangent. So I don't have a bowel. That's why you sometimes hear my tummy gurgling. It just does things different. My plumbing does things differently and sometimes you can hear it. I had a dream last night that they took the rest of my intestines out. But I was watching, so, and they were like, oh no, they don't work anymore, so we're going to have to take them out. And it didn't occur to me to ask anyone, oh, so what does that mean, like long term or anything like that? I was just like, yeah, sure, yeah, take the intestines out. Really weird dream. And something I probably didn't need to tell you. I'm just going to adjust because my legs are getting all hot. Yes, so the bag. How did I go from the bag to intestine? Oh, because my tummy rumbled. Yeah, so this is by This Lizzie Sews. I will link her underneath. I adore it. I adore everything about this bag. It's glorious. I have put some stitch markers on here for Mouse in Paris. Little yellow autumnal ones. And the great thing about this bag is that it's got a frame top, nice and solid like that. So when you open it up, it's like a proper little basket. So I have crocheted up my Blanket Club minis from Green Lampkin Yarn. It's a Secret Treasure Box Blanket Club for this year. And I've crocheted up the most recent ones, which were the June ones, into this lovely stack of hexagons. I'm making the Weekender blanket, which is a pattern by Sandra at Cherry Heart. And, oh, hang on, I feel like I'm missing some. Oh no, they're here. They're just all in the wrong order. Yeah, it's a pattern by Cherry Heart. The pattern actually tells you how to join these as you go. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to think about the placement later on because I'm gathering the colours over the year. I want to place them in, you know, a specifically random order at the end of the year and crochet them together then. So these are them all worked up. Focus. Oh, look at those. Is there anything more delicious than a stack of crocheted hexagons? So I'll show you each of the colourways for June. There's that one. They don't have specific names. There's that one. Love that. I really, really like that peachy pinky colour there. Love it. And then there's this one, the bluey one. Really love that one. I love them all, so let's just assume that. Tutti frutti type one. And then I think this one was my favourite from this month. This one. So they're all done. So I'm just awaiting the July ones now, and then I can get those crocheted up. I'm loving this project. I love being able to just crochet up those hexagons every month. I'm finding it really manageable, and I'm really looking forward to the end of the year when I can actually turn it into one big blanket. It feels like no pressure at all. It's fun when the blanket club arrives and you get that little surprise throughout the year. And yeah, I just keep saying yeah now. Yeah. I'm just really enjoying it, loving everything about it. So that's the Weekender blanket. What else? I have progressed a little bit on my cross stitch, but not much. It's just in one of my dodgy bags because it fits. So this is a free cross stitch pattern from Hoops and Crosses, and I'm doing her Trust pattern. The actual pattern is all greens, but I went to John Lewis and got a bit carried away in the thread section and chose my own fade, so I'm doing more autumnal colours in sort of browns, and I went for orange for the Trust. So I've really been enjoying this. That's my little needle minder, which is also from Hoops and Crosses. Yeah, I've really been enjoying this. So I have made some progress, but only a little. I find cross stitch very hard when it's hot because my hands get so sweaty. I always feel like I'm going to make everything grubby, so I tend to avoid it. So that's very minimal progress on that. And then I've started two things. They're both in the same bag, but only one I've started. So they're both in my lovely bag from Hooray for James. He doesn't make these to sell. I met him at the East Anglia Yarn Festival, the mysterious James. And he gave me this, and he also gave me some more as prizes as well, which I'll be using for the Strictly Sock On. So with the leftover yarn from my Wonderland socks, let me show you what I've got. So from each sock I've got, hang on, I just need to blow my nose, menopausal runny nose. So from each sock I've got a little cake of leftovers, which looks like this, and I've also got the little balls that I wound off in order to keep the stripes the right width. So this is what I've got. I haven't weighed them, but I have started a little project, very simple. So with the little ball that I've wound off, this is what I've done so far. And I've got one stripe colour left. So that's quite a lot to get out of that little bit. And there's more that you can't see here as well, because this is a folded brim. So we've got the turquoise under there. So I took the folded brim pattern from the Pearly Dot Socks by Sandra at Cherry Heart. So another mention for Sandra, because I really liked it when I made the Pearly Dot Socks. So I've done that. And now I'm just knitting in the round, and this is all on 50 stitches. With the Pearly Dot Socks, for my size, you start with 50 and then you increase slightly to 56 stitches. So you come back up to a more normal stitch count for socks. I think that's right. But for this, I'm just keeping it at 50, because what I'm making is, let me just put some of the stitches on another needle so I can put my hand in it. So my intention is to make some little wristies, well, sort of wristy hand warmers. So I'm just going to keep going. I want them to be about there, and I'm just going to knit them until they cover my hand. I'm not going to do a thumb or anything like that, because often when I'm walking in the winter, I'm holding my phone because I like to keep an eye on my miles and so on. And it's just nice to be able to have something to pull down over my hands that aren't gloves, if that makes sense. I've got all my hands out, but I can pull something over my hands. So that's what I'm making. I've no idea if the stitch count is going to be right. I do have weirdly small hands, so I think 50 is going to be all right. But if it looks like it's going to be too tight going over my hand, I'll just increase a little bit. And then I intend to do, I would like to do the same folded brim like that at the end as well. But I don't know if that's going to be, I don't know how to do that going the other way. It must be possible, because it's not hard to do that, is it? You just have to fold it back in on itself. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. But then I'd also have to cast off at the same time. Maybe I just sew it. Maybe I'd, yeah, I don't know. Or, and I also don't know how it would sit. So for example, let me turn it upside down. Imagine, right, so there it is. Oh, it does sit quite nicely actually, but do you see, because it kind of flares slightly, and I want to be able to comfortably pull it over my hand without it feeling weird, so maybe I'll finish with a bit of rib. Just to suck it in a bit at the end, that's what I might do. Anyway, watch this space. That's what I'm doing with my leftover Wonderland yarn, and because it's just round and round and round, I can do that quite happily of an evening before I get too hot and bothered. I'm finding of an evening that what I'm doing, oh, why am I putting that down? I've got something else to show you in here. What I'm doing is I'm starting off with a bit of knitting. When we open up the windows in the evening to let the cool air in, I'm starting off with a bit of knitting, and then I find I just get too hot. And then I tend to spend the evening doodling or doing a bit of drawing. Yeah, because I feel I can do that when it's hot. So in here as well, in the same bag, I have more yarn from Spin and Blether, and I showed this in my making vlogs back in July. I haven't started this yet, but I have balled it up. I didn't cake it up, I balled it up because I just felt like making my own little gobstoppers. So this is the colourway A Very Merry Unbirthday, which is her other Alice in Wonderland themed yarn, also self-striping, and I just loved the colours of this. So after I spoke to you last time, I said that I was going to go and buy this, and Andrea had contacted me later to say that she'd like to send it as a thank you for the mention. So I went and bought it quickly so that I could purchase it, and then we had a whole thing where we were going backwards and forwards with me trying to buy it and her trying to refund me. And it was very funny and it did make me giggle, but thank you, Andrea. In the end, Andrea won. Revenge one day will be mine, and so this is a gift as a thank you for the podcast, but I was going to buy it anyway. And she sent me the sock set, so I was just going to buy the sock yarn, but she sent me the sock set, which meant I got a contrast self-striping, which is Cheshire Cat, which, you know, those are the perfect colours, aren't they? Cheshire Cat. So I don't know if I'm going to use this to do a contrast or not. I might do it for the heels, not sure, or I might use it for a separate thing. I'll start knitting and see where I end up. So that's going to go in here as well. And I think what I'm going to do is, we are going to go away this month. So I think what I'm going to do is take that with me, this bag with me, with my Wonderland wrist things and my Very Merry Unbirthday not started socks, and see where I end up. I don't tend to do a lot of knitting or crochet when I'm on holiday. I tend to read or draw. So we'll see. But it's small enough that I can pop it in my suitcase and I'll have it if the urge takes me. So that's that. Have I got anything else? Wonderland wrist thingies, Merry Unbirthday, Lilia's blanket, Weekender blanket, April cardigan and cross stitch. That's it. So I think August plans, my plans for making in the month of August, like I said, all bets are off in August. Chaos reigns. But I definitely do want to finish Lilia's blanket. It might not be finished before the end of August, but I definitely want to progress that border, and at least be aiming to have that finished in the first week of September. It will go by in a flash, so by the time you see this will already be over a week into August. It's just bananas. Okay, so the other thing that I've just realised I haven't done is I haven't drawn a winner for the Wonderland Walk skein. So last time I said I'd like to give away a skein of Wonderland Walk from Lay Family Yarn, and I asked you to tell me in the comments your favourite place to either knit and or walk, and oh my goodness, did you come through with your comments. It has just been a delight to read through, hearing about all these different places around the world, different countries, or my own country, you know, where I live, to hear all these different places where people love to walk or where they love to go to knit, or it's just been brilliant. So if you go back and look at the comment section of episode 113, it's just lovely. It's just a really uplifting comment section to read. So what I'm going to do now, because obviously I forgot to draw, because I on a whim decided to film this today. I was going to film it tomorrow, so I'm a little bit unprepared. So I'm going to do that after I filmed, and I will put it on the screen now. So I don't know who's won, and I'm going to do a comment picker using the looking for the terms, because I said to you to use the term my favourite place, but I'm going to search the word favourite using both spellings, the American spelling without the U and the English spelling with the U, so that everyone that used one or both of those words will be in with a chance of winning. And I'm going to do that, and you'll see it now as I'm talking, and you will see the winner and their favourite place to knit and or walk come up on the screen, and that is the person who has won. So please get in touch with me, and an email is the best way to do that, littledropsofwonderful@gmail.com. Let me know what base you would like. I will link it underneath the Lay Family Yarn website. I think they're doing it on fingering weight, double knit and 2 types of floof. So let me know which of those bases you would like, and let me know your address, and I will buy that and arrange to have it sent to you wherever you are in the world. So thank you to everyone for sharing. I just loved reading them. Thank you very much. And for your enthusiasm about the Wonderland Walk yarn as well. So that makes me very happy. So we have arrived at and finally already. So there are a few things, this is the bit at the end where I catch you up on everything else that I need to tell you about. So there's a few things. The first thing is fairly nonsensical to tell you, which is the dodgy bag pins are back. Do I have one? I don't. Let me go and get one. Here it is. So dodgy bags are what I call, I just cut my thumb when I went to get that. Yeah, dodgy bags are what I like to call. We've been rewatching Miranda. We've just finished actually rewatching Miranda for about the billionth time. So now we're always saying things like plunge and what I like to call and Ryan Sosling. If you don't watch Miranda, you won't know what I'm on about. Yeah, so these are the dodgy bag pins, and this is because I call the bags that I sew dodgy bags because they're just made up, they're not perfect, and I enjoy making them. There's no perfection. So every year, the lovely Claudia at Crochet Luna and I run the dodgy bag make along where we all make bags and we don't worry about perfection and we just have a lot of fun doing it. So I made the dodgy bag pin so you can proudly attach it to your finished dodgy bag and advertise to the world that you're dodgy and proud. However, you can't buy them until the end of August because I've closed my shop for summer because I do need a little break. I'm going to have a little break from having to parcel up orders. Like I say, we are going away, so it wouldn't be fair to take orders and it would be too delayed. So I'm going to open it again towards the end of August and you'll be able to get them then. So maybe just go and, I don't know if you can set reminders or anything like that, but I will let you know when I've reopened my shop. So I do have them, but you can't get them. I'm really sorry. Ryan Sosling. Strictly. Okay, Strictly Sock-Along. I've had a few questions. Is the Strictly Sock-Along coming? Yes, it is. I've not got my act together enough to talk about it, but it'll be the same format as ever. We knit and crochet socks during Strictly season, which is the season that Strictly Come Dancing or Dancing with the Stars is on the telly, which in England is sort of September in the lead up to Christmas. It celebrates my favourite time of year, which is that autumn period right through into the Christmas season. And it's just something that Dan and I and our girls have always watched together, and it's one of the things that we can all watch together. There are 4.5 years between my girls, so there's not a lot of things that over the years that we could all come together and watch. And that's one of the reasons, and celebrating the kind of showbiz, sparkly silliness of it all. And there'll be a lot more on the Strictly Sock-Along in my next episode. I would say that there's been a lot, it's absolutely impossible to avoid everything that's been going on about the allegations of the two male dancers, Graziano and, I want to say Bruno, it's not Bruno, is it? What's his name? He danced with Rose. Giovanni. There's been all of that going on. I'm sure you haven't missed it. Yeah, so I don't want to not mention that. I would say that I watched this morning a really, really good take on it. The whole thing. Because I am still doing the Strictly Sock-Along and we are still going to be watching Strictly. And I know that loads of you join in the Strictly Sock-Along that don't watch it anyway. Watch it anyway and you just join in for the fun of it. It's in its 20th year now, so I guess it's been a long running thing and it has done a really good job, I think, of changing with the times, and I personally feel that it's been one of the best shows for adapting to the world it's in and most importantly providing representation to people from all kinds of backgrounds and skin colours and genders and body shapes and sizes and ages and sexuality. It was one of the first mainstream shows to have single-sex partners competing together, and I just can't stress enough how important I think representation of things is, and I do think it has been good for that, and I do think it can recover. I'm going into this a lot more than I intended to, but I watched this morning a really good podcast, which is The Rest is Entertainment, which is a podcast with Richard Osman, who I love. And I can't remember the woman's name that he does it with, but she's very, very good. And they actually covered this, and I thought it was the most balanced, from my point of view, conversation that I've heard about it in a while. I think Richard Osman and the lady that he does the podcast with really covered all aspects of it. So I'll link that below because it was really good. Also, they talked about the New York, what was it, the New York best books of the last decade or something list, and they talked about the importance of like book lists and how that can make a difference to authors getting discovered. It was a whole different thing. So we're moving on from Strictly now, but it was really good, the books that they talked about and the importance of these lists. And then I thought, oh, I'm really liking this podcast. And I noticed that their most recent one was about the death, what was it, the death of the movie trailer voiceover. So I think I'll be listening to that later before I edit this, because it was just brilliant stuff. So yeah, I would highly recommend listening to that for a perspective on what's going on with Strictly. But yes, we are going to go ahead and we are going to have fun and be silly and cheat. Officially, it usually starts on the launch show. We don't have a date for that yet, but it's usually sort of mid to late September. And then it runs all the way until early January. So, and it's a lot of fun. We get an excuse to make lots of socks, use all the sparkly yarn or any yarn we feel like, the Christmas yarn, the Halloween yarn. There's prizes throughout for like Halloween and Blackpool and various different things. I'm adding a new prize category this year to, if you make socks using Wonderland Walk, just for this year. I'll probably keep it a bit more low-key than usual in terms of prizes and things like that, just because this coming season is going to be a really big and transitional one for our family. We've got Lilia going off to university, so there's going to be Lilia moving out, and that's going to involve a lot of travelling up and down the country and getting her settled at uni and so on. So there's big things going on, and I need to give my time and attention to that. But yeah, I hope that covers everything. That was all off the top of my head. Have I got anything written here? No, just that I'll talk more about it in the next episode. Speaking of the Strictly Sock-along, I do have a pattern to mention. Oh, here it is. This is from Skipping Pebbles. She sent me a pattern as a thank you for the podcast and the videos, and I printed it off, and I can't remember what order the pages go in, but it's called, it's the front page. I'm going to have to look on my Ravelry. I don't think it says on the thing. I think I might have not printed off one of the pages. Bear with. Right, it is the Regal Ankle Socks by Skipping Pebbles, who is Kerry. And it's really interesting. I'll put a picture up and I'll read what it says. They're top down from a sweet picot cuff featuring a higher cuff at the back. Perfect to stop your socks slipping down inside shoes, which drives me crazy, so that's fantastic. The pattern is written with 2 options for the heel and 3 different lace patterns, and also includes instructions for a contrasting cuff and heel or toe, and which makes them good for using up leftovers. Now, I've had a little read through the pattern, and actually the construction of these is really interesting as well, and I think that these are going to be a good learning curve for me. I really adore them, and I like the fact you can choose the 3 different patterns for the top of the foot. I really like the Lazy Daisy one. That's my favourite, and that's the one I'll probably go for. Although I do also like the, what was the other one called? The Seed Stitch one. Anyway, so these are the Regal Ankle Socks by Skipping Pebbles, and she's also going to give a couple of copies to add to the Strictly prize pile as well, so I just wanted to mention those. And I've had a couple of incoming bits that I thought I would share that I think I have nearby. I've got at least one of them here anyway. So Lisa sent me some yarn to do with as I would like, stuff that she wasn't going to use. Said I could do what I wanted with it, keep it, give it away, use it as prizes. So some of it I've actually put to one side. It was John Arbon yarn. Lovely colours from their, was it their allotment? Can't remember what the range was, but I know a friend of mine has used it before, and I put it to one side to take with me to give to her when I see them at the Lay Family yarn retreat in November. But she also sent me this nettle sock yarn. Now, she said she hasn't found it to be terribly well wearing, but I'm fascinated by it. So it's onion yarn and it's sock yarn, 70% wool and 30% nettle fibres, and the nettle fibre is what's supposed to give it the strength as opposed to nylon. So I've got it in these lovely colours. So I just wondered if you've had any experience knitting with it and what you used it for. Did you use it for socks or something else? I like the feel of it, and I'd be interested to know what you think. So thank you very much, Lisa. I am fascinated by that. And the other yarn included, which I think I don't know, I'm tempted to use it, but I'm also tempted to use it as a prize, is from Orphan John Arbon. So I've got a 50% Exmoor Blueface, 30% Blueface Leicester, 20% Wensleydale. I cannot tell you how gorgeous this smells. You can imagine the sheepy smell. It's a kind of sheepy smell that just releases some kind of endorphins in my brain and makes me so happy. I feel like I'm running through a sheep field somewhere in Devon. And so this is the Devonia double knit weight in their snow ash colourway. And how gorgeous is that colour? It's very rustic, which I like. Not particularly itchy though. Very nice. So she sent me that. And then she got these two, which she's put together. This one's not got a label on, so I'm assuming, but again, it smells gorgeous. Oh my word, it just smells so good. And then this is Devon Naturals 4-ply in the Zadie colour. I mean, look at those two together. It looks very dark on screen. It's very dark brown. Oh, that's coming out well. There you go. Really lovely. So I just wanted to show those. I've never had John Arbon. So actually those three together are gorgeous, aren't they? That's double knit. That's 4-ply though. Oh. Anyway, so thank you very much, Lisa, for that. And then the other bits from Tracy I've left in the kitchen. It's been the running around episode. Let me go and get it. Here they are. So this was a little thank you for the videos gift from Tracy. And, oh, adorable. Some of the things that she sent are not here anymore because they're in use. Look at the little bag that says thank you. How cute is that? So at first I thought she'd sent me a random pen, but then it's scissors. Oh, this is so exciting. Look! And they're blunt edged as well. And then you just, it feels like a James Bond knitting gadget. I love it. And she sent me a load of Alice in Wonderland stickers. Now I've only got 2 here because the rest of them are already in my book. So I have put, there was a drink me one that I put here and some toadstools there. And then I've got Painting the Roses red sticker here. And then I've got this gorgeous white rabbit here. And I think I put some at the beginning as well. Did I? Maybe not. And then others went somewhere else as well. So thank you so much for those stickers. And a gorgeous bookmark, which I'm going to actually use as a decoration. I'm going to put it into one of my sort of permanent library books. Now that makes it sound like I've stolen a book from the library, but one of the books I'm keeping, I've got a really nice edition of Alice in Wonderland. I'm going to put it so I can see it on the bookshelf like a little decoration. Just lovely. Oh, what does it say on it? I can't read what it says, but it's beautiful. And then in here from Clips and Pieces, gorgeous little tin, I've got some Alice themed stitch markers. And I just wanted to show them to you because I've got quite a few Alice themed stitch markers now, but these are lovely. I mean, all of my Alice themed stitch markers are lovely. I'm not going to show you them all. I'll just show you my very favourites. So I've got the key, obviously, for getting through the door into Wonderland, or into the garden, I should say, where she meets the Queen. And then we've got the White Rabbit's pocket watch. Of course, we've got the cards. This is my absolute favourite. A super chunky white rabbit. Woo! I adore him. I'm actually thinking I might put him on a little key ring to do as a bag charm. And then finally, very similar to that bookmark, just a lovely little Alice themed rosette. Gorgeous. So thank you very, very much, Tracy. That was really nice of you. So, and that concludes everything. My battery's about to run out. I'm hoping I'll be able to say goodbye to you before it does. So thank you so much for watching this episode. Thank you so much for your lovely comments on the last lot of making vlogs and for entering the giveaway last time. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna have to be really quick before my battery runs out, and I will see you again at the beginning of September, maybe before if I get the time to make anything. There'll definitely be vlogs over on my other channel, so watch out for those on This Little Wonderful Life. Have a lovely summer. I'll see you again in September. Until then, happy knitting, happy crocheting. Bye. I don't know why I did that.